Now, continuing to add short factual stories to the overall concept of legacy. This one is titled Charlestown, Nevis. That is in fact the capital city of that Eastern Caribbean island where I was born, and I was visiting there in the 1990s to capture or make some observations, current observations. This one is called Charlestown, Nevis. Nevis is spelled capital Nevis. Carleton offered to take them to the side of the capital, the other side of the capital of Nevis, Charlestown, to visit the larger of the two laundromat facilities. He acted as chauffeur and guide. They noted the custom of greeting the familiar with the honking of the horn of the automobile. Later they used the telephone to contact relations, informing them that they were collected. They would allocate maximum time to view what real estate they had for sale. Johnny Clark, he's someone whose family has been established on the islands for centuries, probably a couple of centuries, couldn't commit. It was busy. Late in the week, he rang to say the same thing and added an apology. They also rang Pinky Hart, who was representing Kitty Burke, who owned properties, real estate on the island they were going to look at. They listened attentively to Pinky as she showed them around the $500,000 house. Outside, at ground level, there's a swimming pool that is empty. The acreage around the house is enough for additions. The elevation of the land is high. From inside and outside of the house, the view of the Atlantic is distant and alluring. The house, they conclude, is ideal for an author, painter, composer, or sculptor. Pinky drove them back to Meadville in Charlestown. They thanked her for the time she had spent with them, showing them real estate that was in the excess of their budget. Moving on to another story. In transit. That's literally in transit. This is also factual. When they arrived at Newcastle Airport, now referred to as Vance Amory Airport. Vance Amory is the name of the current leader who was just reinstalled again in recent elections. It was already evening. Taxis were available and they approached the nearest and made their request. Nevis, spelled capital Nevis, is a sparsely populated Eastern Caribbean island. Most of the roads are either semi-lit or pitch dark at nights. they conversed with the taxi driver, a local man who they discovered had a passion for politics. Driving through Cades Bay, the night outside was pitch black except for the bright lights emanating from the front and rear of the taxi. Outages were being enacted at the time, the driver explained apologetically. Later, when they arrived at their destination, Meadville, in the capital, Charlestown, Sylvia and Carlton Mead, husband and wife, their hosts, were waiting to greet them. Move on.